Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Brilliant Shadows. I know we took a little break to finish up Bug Snacks, but we are back, and as far as I remember, we had some really bad news from Hektor, as well as from Prude, and everything was sad, and now we get to deal with what that was going on and figure that out. So let's find out, I guess.
Are you there?
I need your help.
Who's that? Ash jerked up with a start. Shut up. Oh, what? Shut up. I'm grieving. Who?
Huh? Who's there?
Silence hung for a moment.
Yeah, sure. How are things?
Who?
Things are fine.
I'm fine, I think. Something happened.
What? Ash looked around desperately confused. Where were these voices coming from?
Who's the girl?
Who were they talking about her?
Girl?
The one connected to you, currently listening in. What? Is this not supposed to be a three-way call?
Spiraling stars!
A distinct fuzzy silence fell. Spiraling stars? What kind of a curse was that? Ash sat back up in her bed. Had she imagined it? No further voices came, and as she lay back, sleep stole consciousness from her long before her mind could grasp any answers. What was that?
I am unfamiliar with any sort of long-distance communication magic, even among the documentation we have on gray mages.
This is very sudden. Okay.
Though what we have is admittedly pitiably minor.
Are you sure you didn't imagine it? You were pretty drunk.
Are you accusing me of lying? I don't think she's accusing. I think it's just, of course, I know what I heard.
I'm always pretty, drunk or not. But I'm sure.
My God. Ash smirked.
When I had left her, she was coherent enough that she should be able to distinguish the lines between reality and otherwise.
When I asked you about this, Hector, I didn't mean for you to wake up Prude, and I certainly didn't intend for us to hold a meeting about it.
So we know that spells which affect an individual in a pair will often affect the other half of the pair, to a lesser degree. This effectively affects both, one far less than a full power spell, and the other only slightly less. Do you follow?
I think.
Sure.
I suspect
with
that
you.
Ash's partner was under the effect of some sort of communicative magic. This would, unfortunately, provide credibility to the Grey Mage theory. Neither necromancers nor paladins have developed a means of long-distance communication, save for vague impressions through a pairing bond. Unfortunately, we really have no clear understanding of grey magic.
What's so special about gray magic? What is it?
You never learned about the cult of Grey Mages?
They're an order of assassins? We never really studied their actual magics, though. What's so significant about them?
They are either necromancers or paladins who have chosen to kill and remove various organs from their pairing partner, and implant them inside their own bodies.
What?
This grants them the ability to draw upon both wells of power, light and shadow. They use these combined powers to sustain their unnatural life, and animate the organs that would have otherwise died.
Why would someone do something like that?
Holy fucking shit.
Before now, I was unsure. It seemed clearly a better decision to have two fully established mages drawing upon each well and combining efforts. But if they have communication, then apparently they are able to develop magics we cannot even begin to fathom. I mean that quite literally. I have no idea how a communication spell might work. I ask that you prevent me from pursuing it because I am quite convinced that walking that path would only lead to madness.
Could we ask the heads? Heck, you're already insane. That's a little insensitive. But I don't want to ask the heads either. Could we? I guess I'll do that just because that's very rude.
Have you considered asking the heads?
They are skilled, but they would not know.
Sure, heck. We can help with keeping you sane. Besides, aren't you busy with the whole Phoenix Mark thing?
Goddess protect me, you're right. I have to go.
Ugh, you didn't sleep again. You haven't even changed from your wet clothes.
Jesus.
I'm fine.
You're wet,
Go
dude.
change.
Go change. You're gonna get
I need
mildew
to.
or whatever. Prudence swung at Hektor so suddenly neither he nor Ash even had time to flinch. Even after the blow, Hektor did not flinch. He merely stood, his cheek visibly swelling as time passed.
I will go shower and change, but I don't need to sleep yet.
He turned to Prudence with wide eyes.
Why don't you want me to research anymore?
I can help. We're paired now. You have to start learning to rely on others. Particularly me.
We can help.
Prudence shot Ash a glance that asked more questions than the words alone could have.
I'm okay, all things considered. Somehow, a little rejection seems small compared to being paired to a gray mage.
Yes, it wouldn't be fun to end up as the third heart. It would be quite crowded.
That's not funny.
We're also going to work on your tact.
Thank you.
Oh, that would be nice. I need more of that.
My God, this is so poor. This is going so poorly. The next day, the trio assembled at the door of the heads. Ash made an effort to place Prude between her and Hektor. The man smiled with a familiarity that made her resentment roil in her stomach like an angry serpent.
Now we have all agreed. Ash does the talking.
Still don't understand why. I know more about it.
You also enjoy the taste of your own foot.
Ew. Hektor blinked.
No, I don't.
Prude didn't even bother correcting him, instead opening the doors. Luciana was at her desk, clearly still at work. Zachariah... Is that how I say that? Zachariah leaned on the same desk, idle and unbusied. She turned to meet Ash's gaze.
Good morning, Head Zachariah, Head Luciana.
Ash?
That was correct then. Luciana did not turn up from her work. Apparently she was occupied. Odd that, given the meeting had been scheduled the day before.
Eyes over here, Miss Ashmar. You want special treatment? You convince me.
Luciana looked up for a moment from her work.
I will be listening, but I will trust my wife in this.
Zachariah smirked.
Of course, Mistress Heads.
Ash shot a quick glance to Hektor, making sure he made no moves to speak.
We need your permission to conduct experiments.
Of course. You're welcome to perform your own experiments. You've been conducting exercises related to manipulation of plant matter, correct? A fascinating concept, given that standard magics, regardless of the circuit construction, have no effect on anything other than a true animal. Luciana conducted experiments on creating wood golems once. Ultimately, she chose steel for her primary golem.
Zachariah gestured to the suit of armor mounted in the office. Ash was a bit taken aback to hear so much from Zachariah. She had never before been so open with Ash. In fact, to the best of her knowledge, she had never been so open with any student. It suddenly occurred to her, Ash was no longer a student.
I'm afraid
true.
it's not so simple, Head Zachariah.
Hektor had explained his exact needs to her only minutes ago. He would need 2 students, both unpaired. Such a request could, of course, be reasonably granted. There was precedence. Hektor had taught before. Giving him a pair of students would be no great matter, regardless of Zachariah's disdain for the man. Wouldn't it, though? The issue was the experiment itself, replicating the pairing ritual. Yeah, that seems like an issue. Pairing outside of the organized and sanctioned pairing ritual was forbidden. Ash did not know why, likely simply an ancient taboo, but regardless, it was unlikely they would give permission to Hektor again. Explain what Hektor needs, explain the importance of the experiment. Let's do that. Ash took in a long and deep breath. She knew what to say, she just hoped she could maintain her composure as she spoke the words. A lump stuck in her throat.
I need to know who I am paired to.
Zachariah looked her up and down. The bemused look she had only just held fell. She had only just held fell, and there was empathy in her eyes.
I'll tell you now. I do not think this is the solution. There are many more paths we can walk to decipher the mystery of your mark.
I agree with you.
Zachariah seemed surprised.
But that is no reason to dismiss any particular one of them.
Zachariah nodded slowly.
A simple and elegant argument. Any continued protest on my part would betray my prejudice.
Zachariah smirked.
Well maneuvered, girl. It's clear that Princess Celeste will find much use for a mind like yours once she ascends her throne. Goddess knows her mother could use more of such logic.
Ash cocked an eyebrow at the comment. Luciana offered 2 sheets to Zechariah, who proffered them to Ash.
Hektor will receive 2 students, remedial students to be precise. He is tasked with training them to the point where they might advance. As long as his tutelage takes and they improve, he may perform any experiment he wishes.
That's a broad statement. Ash paused, feigning examination of the papers.
You had already planned to permit us to conduct this experiment.
Zechariah tapped her head.
Just as I said, you've got a strong mind. If nothing else, it's providing the poison with which Hektor might stain himself.
With a bow, Ash made to retreat. Zechariah turned to Luciana, giving her a warm smile as she watched her work. The door clicked behind them. And that is where we're going to cut this episode. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm loving this this series. Wait, don't say anything. Shh, don't. We'll pick this up next time, although this looks cool. I like this background. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you all so much for being here on my channel. If you haven't, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to see more from me. And I will see you in the next episode. I will see you tomorrow night. Bye-bye.